In this lesson, you will learn about growing patterns. So here we have a pattern that's starting. We have green, red, green. And then the next one is green, red, red, green. So in this pattern, the part that's growing is the red. The green is staying the same, one green on the ends, but the red is actually increasing or growing by one. So the next pattern would be the green, and then red, red, but it has to grow, so I'm going to put another red and then a green. So the red is actually growing by one. Let's do another one. Red, and then we would have, sorry, that's green, then red, 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 and it has to grow by one, so there's one more red, and green. If we wanted to do another pattern, the fifth one, it would be green, red, 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 and green, and we would keep going and it would keep growing. That's the end of our lesson on growing patterns.
We're going to talk about is what we call a growing pattern. This one doesn't repeat, it just keeps getting bigger or smaller based on a certain piece. So here we have 2 cubes, then we have 4. You can even see it's like a ladder. Then we have 6. We have 6 cubes, then 8. Now, how many more would we have to go on here? That's right, it would be 10. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then we would have 10. And then what would come after that? If you can see, for each one, it's growing by 2. So from 10, and you add 2 more, the next one would be 12.
Okay, growing patterns have something in them. One of the things like we've been doing with flowers that would keep getting bigger and bigger, or growing, getting larger, okay, becoming more. So in our first pattern, we have 2 types of flowers. Again, we have the red flower and the green flower. First, we start here, and with our red flower, so we have 1 red flower and then we have 1 green flower. And then we look next door to those and we have 2 red flowers. So we've increased the red flowers by 1. We've added 1 more red flower to the pattern. Then we have the green flower, so we still kept the green flower the same. So what is growing here is the red flower. Okay, so next we have 3 red flowers. So we're adding 1, growing it by 1. So we have 3 red flowers here and still 1 green flower, and I've written down how many underneath that we have of each type. So next we have 4 red flowers and then 1 green flower still. So we've increased the red flowers by 1 throughout our whole pattern. We keep on going. So the next one that we would have 5 more red flowers and then the green flower, because the 1 more added on to 4, so 4 plus 1 is 5. So now let's look at our second type of pattern with the coffee cups and clock. Again, we start off with 1 coffee cup and 1 clock. And then we grow that by then we have 2 coffee cups and a clock. And then we grow it even more and we have 3 coffee cups and a clock. And then we get even bigger and add 4 more coffee cups. We have 4 coffee cups and 1 clock. So again, we're adding, just like we did with the flowers, 1 more coffee cup each time that we can do the pattern. So let's move on. Let's look at some more growing patterns. Look at pictures. Now we're looking at squares. So we start off with one square, and I've written 1 underneath so we know how many squares we started with and how many we ended up at each part of our pattern. So we have one square here, one kind of brown and multicolored square here, and then we have 2 of them, and then we have 3 of them, and then we have 4 of them, and then we have 5 of them, and then we have 6 of them. So each time I've added one more square to the pattern. Now let's look at the black and white squares. First we have 1, then we have 3. Oh, wait a second. We're not adding 1 like we did in the last one. This time we're adding 2, because here's we have our 1, 2, 3 right here. So we know 3 minus 1 is 2, or we also know that to get to 3 from 1 we need to add on 2 more. So then after our 3 squares, black and white squares, we have 5 black and white squares because we're adding 2 on. So we know 3 plus 2 is 5. And then we have 7 for our next one. So we know 5 plus 2 is 7. Because remember, each time we are adding 2 more on. Then our last one is 9. Because 7 plus 2 is 9.